The Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
All right, Buckeye basketball fans, it is March Madness. It is 12:16 in the morning on Wednesday now. Game started on a Tuesday night, 116-114 overtime. Sorry, double overtime win over Nebraska. This game was chaotic. We are going to get the press conference from head coach Jake Diebler, and we're also going to go back out to the Schottenstein Center and have a check-in with one of our fine assistants. We're going to do that now. We're going to get Dave Dickerson on the line here because we want to talk to these guys and let them go home. Dave, how do you wind down after a game like this? Are you going to get to sleep by 4 o'clock? How long is that going to take?
You know, it's March Madness right now, so it happened tonight in the Shot and in Columbus, Ohio, and even though the Shot was not packed tonight, but our fans were very, very effective, and without those guys and the energy and the passion and the joy they brought us, you know, we always pray for just enough, right? Just give us just enough, and our fans gave us just enough tonight to win.
I thought your guys, you say the same thing about your team, right? Just enough to get the job done and stay in the fight. I know you're building and hoping to have a little bit more comfort to close out a win, but this is life in March, right? I thought the overtime was really key, Dave, when Nebraska comes out, hits the three. Both overtimes started with Bryce Williams making a three, right? Then they get a stop and another shot. And to get those buckets, the back-to-back trays from Bruce and Micah Parrish, and then Devin Royal going to work, right, and drawing that foul. You'd love him to make both free throws. Obviously, he didn't, but he had the defense at the other end to send that game to the double OT. I thought that was key, just getting to that second overtime for you guys.
You know, this is my 34th year doing this, and, you know, you want to play great defense. You want to rebound the ball well, but in March Madness, your best players got to be your best players, and our best players were our best players tonight. We had, Bruce with 29, and Junie with 20, and Devin Royal with 22, and Michael with 22. But, you know, those guys was good tonight. But I don't want to lose the effectiveness of Sean Stewart. You know, Sean came out and just played great defense in the second half, even though he fouled out. But I thought his defense and his rebounding and his deflections gave us a pathway to win this game as well.
Well, he had the offensive rebound and drew the foul there where you guys needed it. That was a huge play. You're right. For him to give you 13 points and make 3 of his 4 free throws, big stuff from Sean.
Yeah, I thought he was 5 for 5 from the field, and I thought his energy and joy today, even – his shoot-around was very good. And I think he did a great job tonight of getting to the next play. But I'm so proud of this team because, you know, we've had some ups and downs this year. And we want to play our best basketball right now. And like I told Jake earlier today, no matter what our record is, we can play and be one of the best teams in the Big Ten and in the country right now. We just got to play our best basketball, and we did it tonight when we needed to.
Dave, you got Indiana coming up. What a way to finish the regular season, right? Road game at Assembly Hall. They're in a similar position, fighting to get their resume touched up so they can get into the big dance, as is this team. It's big stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I mean, you know, I left a head coaching job at USC Upstate, and those guys were great to me down there in South Carolina, my home state, because I wanted to be in meaningful games. I wanted to be in games where everyone in the country felt it, you know, and now we have a chance to go to one of the best basketball schools in the country, Indiana and Bloomington, and play against a very, very good team. And I love who we are right now. I love our togetherness. I love our toughness. And I love the fact that we're passing the basketball. We had 18 assists today on 36 field goals. And so that's a dangerous team. So we got to keep our guys being unselfish mentally, emotionally, and physically. And then we're going to give ourselves a chance to get everything that we want from the season.
Dave, thank you so much for the time. Get some rest. We'll see you Saturday in Bloomington.
Guys, thanks a lot. I enjoyed talking to you guys, and hopefully we can continue to extend this streak of winning and the streak of games so I can talk to you guys again.
Let's do it. Let's do it, Dave. Appreciate the time.
Take care now.
Yep, good night. Dave Dickerson, assistant coach. Good to have him back here in Columbus. Obviously a longtime assistant under Thad Matta. I'm hearing that Jake Diebler is at the podium. He's underway. Head coach back at the Schottenstein Center. Let's go.
But just what did you see from him tonight?
I agree. I thought, he was really productive in 18 minutes, and certainly points, but rebounds, and he had some really good individual defensive plays. And so I thought he played really good, and it was important for us. I thought Aaron gave us some really good minutes, as well. And talked about it from the beginning of the year. Those guys are going to continue to grow as long as this season goes on, and we're going to need them to. And I thought both of them took a step forward tonight, and it was important for us.
You, Nebraska, entered this game very similar places along the NCAA tournament. Well, this felt like a do-or-die game for both sides in some ways as it pertains to the NCAA tournament. When you get down like you did at the start of the first overtime after leading most of the entire game, you talk about fight with this team constantly. But I guess has there ever been, going back to part of what Connor asked, has there ever been a better embodiment of that than to lead most of the game, you get down to start overtime, and then you are able to bounce back and overcome it with all of that on the line? Yeah,
I thought it was a great – that moment, that segment was a great representation of what this program is about. And, I want guys to be aggressive. I don't want us to flinch. I don't want us to play safe. And this group has bought into that, especially here the last, couple months. And, I think the way we did it was just a fight together, which probably makes me even most proud is, we had four guys score over 20 points, and it took everybody. So I thought that moment was critical, that segment.
John Wooden said, be quick but never hurry. Watching this team tonight, it seemed like you guys, that manifested in this team, that especially I think Micah on that three, he took his good old time. There was no panic, no rush. Is being in these situations a lot? How much does that contribute to just sort of not, panic's a strong word, but just not rushing? Yeah. Well, I think, starting to see, and listen, Mike, I know Mike has played a lot of college basketball, but we've asked him to do more than he had ever had to do in his career, and that was part of, why he wanted to come here. And we have a lot of young players and inexperienced players who are playing really impactful minutes for us. And I think you've seen as the year has gone on, we have played with more poise. And especially at the end of games, our execution has gotten better. We, again, executed really well tonight down the stretch. I guess when we say down the stretch, you're talking about multiple segments, right? So, I guess add this to the list of one-possession games that we've seen this year. And, I think going through those so many times has given us a confidence, a collective confidence, that where guys can look at each other and we can lock eyes in the huddle and just know we've been here before and we've been successful in these moments, particularly lately. So I think that all played a factor. How do you relieve the pressure on this team? I mean, they're saying that you're never loose. You're always intense, but I've heard differently. So I don't know if they're just trying to kiss up or what the deal is. I think you can be intense and loose at the same time. We've just talked about stay in the moment, stay in the moment and live in the moment and give it all you got. And we keep the message has been, especially these last three games, just fight and play together. Just fight and play together. And, I don't think they can look out there or they can look at practice and feel that I'm coaching, differently. And I don't want them to. We want to play. We've operated all year with urgency in this program. We've practiced being our best late all season, all the way back to June. And, so I want our guys to live in the moment. Basketball. Joy is one of the values of our program. And we need to have that. Even though I'm intense and passionate and,
and fiery, it's from a place of joy. And I think our guys are playing with a great deal of joy. And listen, our guys get fiery too, and I love that. I love that. I love the passion we're playing with right now.
Difference between urgency and desperation?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think so. I think there is a difference, but I think we got to keep our focus on the urgency, and that leads you to where you want to go. And so we're not asking guys to do anything right now that we haven't practiced for and prepared for. And I think that's why, we've been able to play the way we've played the last couple games.
Oh, go ahead. So I've only been to one other home game, so I don't know the full routine of it.
Did we win that game, Mick?
We won't talk about that.
Okay, I was going to say, if we did and you'd only been to 2, you and I would have a talk after this.
But you grabbed the mic after the final buzzer sounds, and you said something like, what was the motivation behind that? Why did you feel like it needed to be said there?
Because I thought the people in here were really impactful. And listen, I got 4 kids under 6, so I know the impact of a late game and people staying late. And so I was thankful and grateful. I thought our student section was really good. And it would have been very simple for people to leave early, but they stayed and they supported us, and it was impactful. So I felt like they needed to hear that.
What does it mean to know that they were still there? I know, obviously, there's been some ups and downs this season, but to know double overtime, final game, 11 o'clock, whatever it was, that they were still there cheering you guys on. It felt like, honestly, double overtime might have been louder than times in the first half or even in regulation.
Yeah, well, we find a way to keep it interesting, it seems, and make it really, really close. But I thought the energy, especially there, late in the second half and through both overtimes, warranted an opportunity for me to just share my gratitude for what the impact that was had. And I think our players fed off of it. And I'm sure there were some fans that were tired. I know our guys were gassed, but it was just the whole building felt like it had just enough, and we needed it.
We won't have a chance to talk to you, it doesn't seem, before Saturday. Just looking at the standings, it's obvious that the winner of the game is the 9 seed and advances to the second round. The loser of the game will be the 10 seed. We'll have to play on Wednesday. So
I didn't know that, Steve, so
now you know.
Appreciate that.
The stakes are extremely high in that regard, as well as the NCAA possibilities of another quad 1 win on the road. Just, I know, 20 minutes after finishing the craziest game you've ever coached, just your thought about what's in store for you when you go to one of the toughest places.
Yeah, it's a fair question, and it's obviously a really tough environment to play in, but we've shown we can handle it. And I think, listen, with how difficult this league is, and the quality of opponent night in and night out, I just find it really hard to believe that everybody's season is on the line every single game when you have so many opportunities, even going into the Big Ten tournament. That's not to diminish how important the game is. I haven't shied away from that for what feels like been going on for a while. But again, I just want our guys to live in the moment, prepare well, put our best foot forward like we have, and that's the most important thing, because by doing that, you position yourself to get the result you want. And so that's got to be our focus. And listen, this team deserves, and I don't know exactly what the number is, but this league deserves a lot of teams in the tournament. It does. And if you're hovering, close to 500 in this league, like you've walked away with some really impressive wins. And I think so. However that shakes out, Steve, I guess we should be having whatever the 10, 11. I don't know what the number is, of what they're looking at, but we should be having the max of that in the tournament, I believe, because of the quality of teams, the quality of wins our league had outside of the Big Ten.
Talk about connectivity a lot. Those 3-pointers that you hit, the second overtime, the ball was moving.
Yeah.
The ones late in the regulation that kept you in it and everything else. Just how important was that tonight, that it wasn't necessarily one-on-one basketball. It was getting the ball to the open guy, making the extra pass.
Yeah, really important. And that's been an area of growth for us as the season has gone on. And I think you look at a couple of these last games, our assist numbers have been good. And that's part of right? It's part of a new team, new system, and guys getting used to playing with each other. And, I think the last month or so, we've really seen us do that at our best. And it's going to be important. We got to keep playing with pace in the half court. And the ball, moves faster in the air than a lot of times when it's on the ground. So we want to keep looking for that.
Jake, can you put into words the feeling of being a coach and watching your team in the last possession, a do or die moment? Like, what are you feeling?
Ooh. I've never really reflected on kind of what that feels like, but, I think the biggest thing for me is there's an obvious excitement, I think. And I want us to always, like, play to win and swing big. And, I love that our guys have that mentality. You don't see this team, hesitating. Rarely do we hesitate or kind of look over our shoulder. We play aggressive. So I just want to make sure we're always operating with that mentality. And then basketball is a beautiful game that I've been involved with my entire life from the time I could walk. So as exhausting and stressful these one-possession games are, it's a lot of fun too. And, I think you got to, like I tell our guys, you got to live in the moment.
Ask too real quick about there were 52 fouls, I think, by both teams combined in this game. How does that change throughout the game from a coaching perspective, and what do you have to do differently down the stretch knowing how the game is being called?
Yeah, I thought it was a well-officiated game. I mean, listen, it's a tall task for what the officials in this league have to do, and there's so many good players and good defenders. And, the biggest thing you want as a coach is consistency, so you can adjust to how the game's being called. And, I thought this game was called pretty consistent. I'm sure they're not perfect, just like we're not perfect. But, I felt like there were moments where we bailed them out with kind of swiping down and some undisciplined technique. But, I also thought there were some times where we had great technique and maybe got a little unlucky. So all in all, I thought this was a physical Big Ten game that was, both teams got to the free throw line. Obviously, the fouling, at the end impacted things, but both teams were aggressive to the paint, and, it's kind of part of it. It's a tall task for those guys. There's no question.
Yeah, it almost seemed that.
Don't forget Adam. I skipped him to start, so just make sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it seemed at times like Bruce was almost like willing you guys through certain segments, like diving for loose balls.
Yep.
Just really intense. It just seemed like he was kind of leading that charge. I guess, was there like a special like look in his eye that you noticed today, or different mentality at all? Like what was his mentality heading to this game?
Well, I think he had it against USC too. And when I evaluate Bruce's leadership, and make no mistake, he's always a good leader, but when he becomes a great leader is when he's using his voice throughout the course of the game. And he did it tonight. He did it in timeouts. He did it in between plays. And he was holding guys accountable at times. And there was a passion to it, which, obviously I love. So I thought his leadership tonight was great. I thought it was great last game. Baseline for him is always going to be leading by example, and he does it so well, right? But when he's using his voice like he has, it does help will us to be successful. And it's something that he's grown in, and I'm really proud of him for that, because he and I have had a lot of conversations about that, and he's embraced it, and he can do it. He can do it and play at a really high level. It's what makes special players special.
I think by the end of the double overtime game, the senior day stuff kind of got lost in the wash a little bit. Talking about Kalen specifically, they showed the video of him talking when he was a freshman about since he was little, he just wanted to play for the Buckeyes. Can you give people a peek behind the curtain, the stuff that Kalen does for the program that they don't see if they just come and just watch the games? Yeah,
I'm glad you asked that, because, and obviously, when guys join a program for their last year coming from another program, it's different. Senior night has become different because you have more examples like that. But, for Mike and Quez be able to play their last home game, I think that's important. And for them to trust, and come here, right? Like, I think it says a lot. But when you look at Kalen specifically, and first off, Kalen's a joy to be around, and he shows up every day. Every day he shows up. And, he has an important role on this team, and he's embraced it. And no one ever gets to see just how important that is. But when we do scout team and we prep, it is, and he's learning 10 to 15 new plays when you include out of bounds under and you know, I'm expecting him to operate and run them exactly right. And, you know, so it's what he has to do is challenging. And a lot of people could become frustrated and not do that well because, you know, maybe they wanted to play more or whatever. But he shows up every day and he does it to the best of his ability. And he cares deeply about this program and university. And he's poured just as much as anybody else into it. And this program will take care of him because of that. He'll always be a part of the Ohio State basketball family and, you know, achieve what was so important to him growing up. And he's treated people well. He's worked extremely hard. And this program and this place finds a way of taking care of those people. So I'm so excited. He's going to be successful in whatever he decides to do because of the way he approached, and specifically this year, the way he approached every day. He needs a job or an interview. He can count on me for a reference. Sorry, Adam. Yeah.
Everyone kind of hit the big picture stuff. So looking at this game specifically, you guys had a stretch where they scored on 13 straight possessions. Defensively, I know like there's been some issues these last couple of games. Your offense has been able to overcome it. But do you come out of this more happy that your offense, or maybe concerned a little bit about where your defense is as you head into, you know, another really important game?
Thanks, Adam. I'm happy we won, but yeah, there's some things we need to address defensively, and you know, I think the good thing is, right, we've shown growth where one end isn't necessarily affecting the other, and that's important. But you know, coming off of what was a really, really good defensive performance at UCLA on their court, I think we held them to maybe 40%. Roughly, you know, obviously we struggled to make shots that game, but you know, we did some really good things defensively there. Obviously, USC shot the ball way too well. Nebraska's field goal percentage was too good, and you know, some of that was on the offensive glass and the fouls. So, yes, you know, I hope this isn't the last question of the night because maybe someone could ask me a happier question, but. You know, it is something that we'll continue to watch, learn from, and grow from because you guys know, I mean, it's too important, and we got to be better, and I got great confidence we will.
Well, what do you think, maybe on a lighter note, what do you think you're going to take most from a night like this? I mean, like when you walk out of here, what's going to be the first thing on your mind, do you think? Yeah, I hope our guys are getting rest. That's the first thing probably is, you know, hopefully they're getting some sleep and resting so we can start our recovery tonight because that's going to be important. And then I'm just, you know, I think I'm really proud because it felt like the culture and foundation of our program, you know, was the reason we won this game. Certainly guys had to make individual plays, but the things we want to be about and talk about, you know, in this program and listen, players make plays. I'll be the first to tell you, but the things we talk about on a daily basis, playing with joy, the toughness, the connectedness, you know, the urgency, being your best late, being a great teammate, you know, dominating hustle plays. It felt like we were first to the floor most every time in hustle plays. Like those things, you know, I'm proud of and in reflecting that we, you know, the culture and the foundation we're laying, you know, for this program moving forward was represented well tonight.
All right, there are some more thoughts from head coach Jake Diebler. I'll save my comments for after the break because I want to back what the reporter asked right there at the end. That kind of killed the buzz a little bit from this chaotic victory, a thrilling finish. The most important thing is the Buckeyes found a way to get the job done. But some things there, for sure. 116-114 as Ohio State tops Nebraska in double overtime. More of the Encova Insurance postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like asterisk-free checking. An account that's filled with features, but no monthly maintenance fee, no matter what. Because it's your money, right? So we think you should keep it. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney.
Union Home Mortgage knows Buckeye fans never leave Ohio State behind. We've helped millions of first-time home buyers get into their dream home through our 1% down payment program. Put as little as 1% down, and UHM tosses in up to 2% on the house. Learn more at UHM.com or call 877-846-4968. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at Safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace. Hear every Buckeye game every year. The Fan. Now back to the Encova Insurance Buckeye Postgame Show on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, Buckeye basketball fans. Timmy Hall here at our network studios. 116-114, double overtime. The Buckeyes survive and find a way. Once again, they started this game. They were hot offensively. Second straight game where the Buckeyes are getting it from everybody. All five guys wind up scoring in double figures. Your big four all goes for 20 or more. I mean, you scored 116 points. Seems fitting that they would. Devin Royal, 22 points, 8 boards. 29 and 9 dimes for Bruce Thornton, player of the game for me. 20 for John Mobley Jr. and 22 for Micah Parrish with 6 boards and 3 assists. Both in the first and the second overtime, they were sparked by back-to-back threes from Bruce and Micah. I think they were in that order in both OTs. Bruce and Micah, and it was the first overtime that we talked about with Dave Dickerson, where they fell down by 5 points right away, and those were huge shots. Micah with the step-back three in the second overtime to help ice it, to put it away. Yeah, hearing about some things with Micah Parrish, moved his feet, shuffled his feet on the inbounds with 3 seconds left. Hey, getting screwed by Big Ten refs. That's all part of it, right? Ohio State's been on that side. That does not guarantee that Bryce Williams was going to get a 3 up to tie. You're still down 3 with 3 ticks left if that violation gets called. Jake Diebler's philosophy is to foul in those situations, so you're likely not getting the 3-point shot up anyway, and the Bucks can still win that game. But you heard the question there at the end where Jake wanted another happier question before the night was done, but completely fair, right? You score 116 points, and Nebraska is right there in your face with a chance to win it. They shoot the ball 53%. You give up a 43-point performance to Bryce Williams, the second 40-point game in the Big Ten this year, the best scoring game in the Big Ten this year, passes John Tonje for Wisconsin, and you give up 24 points to Juwan Gary, the same 2 guys that went off last game. And throughout the course of the game, a lot of them were easy buckets where the defensive communication was just not there. So there's definitely things to work on. You want to get, when the Buckeyes are scoring like that and you score 45 points in the first half, you almost feel like that's a game where you're going to get up by 20, you know? Occasionally those games exist. And I'd like to think that they are when your offense is performing at that alarming of a good rate that you have enough
you're so efficient offensively that fuels your defense. It's one side lifting up the other. Usually when you have a great defensive effort, that's going to pour into the offensive side. Sometimes it's in transition buckets. Sometimes it's with drive and kicks for wide open threes. But you like to think that when you're super hot in one area or the other, that other area is going to meet a certain standard. And it did not defensively for the Buckeyes today. That's not to say that there weren't some great individual defensive plays throughout the course of the game, but over the majority of it, too many easy buckets, too many rebounds and buckets given up for Nebraska with 13 boards. A lot of that was in the second half when they were on that run. And if you look at the last four of the last 5 games for Ohio State, they were either instances where A, you're getting decimated on the glass, or B, you're just giving up a ton of points. I mean, Michigan had close to 90. USC shot 60% and scored 82 and tied that game late. And Nebraska gets 114 points here in the defeat. You're doing the right things in your energy level, your want to, your fight, your grit, your toughness, your never say die, all important things. It's March Madness, no doubt about it. But there's still season left. So let's not die. Let's never say die on improving some of these defensive coverages and trying to get these guys to better communicate and lock in to at least take away the layups. Let's just make teams earn it. Let's get in the right position, help defense, togetherness. We preach that stuff. So we're walling up, hands and faces, trying to play as hard as you can without fouling. Better, I thought, today in playing without fouling. There were just too many easy buckets given up. It was the same thing last time against Nebraska. But they win. They win the game. That's the most important thing. We'll touch things up. Final score. Oh, what a thriller. 116-114. Ohio State beats Nebraska in double OT. More of the Encova Insurance postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Now through March 3rd, get 2.99 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash on a new 25 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a 25 Tundra SR Crew Max for $399 a month for 39 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations, in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State University, Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeyes Care. The Buckeyes pulled off something tonight that had never been done in Buckeye basketball history. More of the Encova Insurance postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Life is more fun with a pal. So is pizza. So check out Donato's new $5 Pizza Pals menu. Order any large pizza and add on your choice of a sub, salad, wings, a 10-inch pizza, and more for just $5. It's the new $5 Pizza Pals menu from Donato's. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's. Gotta love more.
High-scoring offense and lockdown defense are the ingredients of a winning team. For every other ingredient, Buckeye fans trust Giant Eagle and Market District. ready-to-eat prepared foods, a thrilling selection of fresh favorites, and everyday value from our family of brands are game day go-tos. Plus, like the Buckeyes pile up points on the court, you can score perks and earn free gas and groceries with My Perks. Giant Eagle, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
Always and forever your home of the Buckeyes. Home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. Now back to the Encova Insurance Buckeye Postgame Show on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Timmy Hall back here with you guys. Network Studios. Ohio State basketball gets the job done 116 to 114. What a wild ride. I tell you what, just a roller coaster of a ride. I don't know why I went into Chris Collinsworth voice there. It's 12:51. I tell you what, it's almost 1 o'clock. That guy, Bruce Thornton, he is just a heck of a player. I mean, the toughness of this guy, 9 assists, 29 points, just simply incredible. Just what a game. What a game for the Buckeyes, hitting the threes in both OTs to get the job done. I did not mean to rhyme right there either. Hitting the threes in OT, these guys getting their degrees. The bees are buzzing. The Buckeyes, they're trying to put the NCAA tournament resume together, right? We all know that. And these are really important games. So winning this game at all costs, again, some things that you'd like to see this team work on so they can have a shot to win some more games in the Big Ten tournament, to hopefully beat Indiana. If they don't up the defense and the rebounding at Assembly Hall for Saturday, you're not going to win that game. Like that, it's as simple as that. You can bring this kind of offense. For one, you're likely not going to be able to have, 3 straight games where you're firing at this kind of clip. You're not going to get 4 guys going for 20 points. It's simply not going to happen. I'd hope that, all 4 of your big 4 are locked in and able to give you something. Not just something, but, give you their very best. And that might be 13 points and 8 boards for Devin Royal. That might be 12 points and 5 assists for John Mobley. That might be 20 for Bruce. It might be 20 for Micah Parrish. Some variation of all that. But you've got to be more honed in defensively if you're going to win that game. And they're here, though. They've got the chance. Now, I'm glad they won these 2 games. We're all glad. Hopefully you can see that. I'm looking at the KenPom live. They actually slipped 2 spots tonight from 32 to 34. Ohio State's overall number in KenPom. And the defensive efficiency dipped again. They're outside the top 50. It's been slowly going backwards. Offense, though, took an obvious jump. They're up to 22 now. So they're showing you what that side of the floor can do when they are hitting shots like that. And again, a lot of it was good because we've had criticisms at times of the offense being a little bit too one-dimensional, too much one-on-one, but there was movement. Even when they were knocking down threes, it was a drive and a nice cross-court pass by somebody, and then sometimes the extra pass from the corner onto the wing, getting somebody wide open. The shot to let Devin Royal come off of the slip screen there and get him heading downhill, driving to the basket with 7 seconds left to try to go and win the game, and he draws the foul. He attacks the glass. Second straight game. He gets the ball. He wants it. He's ready for it. He drives to the lane tough. He throws it up. He's almost dunks that one in, and he goes to the line, and you'd like him to make them both? Sure, but he still actually gave the defense at the other end on the hottest player in the game, who had a 40-piece tonight, and got you to that second overtime where you could ultimately survive and advance and win the game. And that is the story of March. Survive and advance. There's your answer. All right. Lot happened in college basketball tonight. I don't have time to go through it all, but Auburn lost. That was pretty big. Texas A&M beat them 83-72. BYU beat Iowa State on the road in a double overtime thriller, 88-85. Texas, big win in overtime on the road at Mississippi State, 87-82. Puts them kind of in the, well, I don't know. They're 6-11 in the SEC, but that's a 17-win team that the Buckeyes, of course, beat in a big game to start their regular season. Purdue threw up 100 on Rutgers, 100-71, the final right there. But for us, for this team here, it's all about Saturday at Assembly Hall. What a way to finish the regular season, right? Against an Indiana team that is also fighting to get in to the big dance. Boatman, do you want a legal here before we wrap it? Thumbs up on the legal ID. What do you say we do it right now? This is Buckeye basketball in Learfield.
Always your home for Buckeye basketball.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Your flagship station for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I tell you what, hitting them with the legal ID right before the end. Oh, boy. Let's get out of here. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'd like to thank everyone at the Big Ten for another 9 o'clock tip on a Tuesday night. Nothing like ending your regular season home slate with a 9 o'clock tip-off, staying out until 1 o'clock in the morning on a school night and a work night. But hey, it's March. We sleep in May, as John Rothstein says. Thanks for listening to the Encova Insurance postgame show. It's brought to you by Encova Insurance. All rights to the material contained in this broadcast are retained as the copyrighted property of The Ohio State University and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without expressed written authorization. The commercial advertisements made in connection with this broadcast were made for the promotional purposes of the sponsors and should not be construed as an endorsement by The Ohio State University of the products or services. The Ohio State Sports Network is a production of Radio Ohio Incorporated. The announcers for today's game were chosen by Radio Ohio and Learfield in conjunction with The Ohio State University. The executive producer of Ohio State Radio Sports is Skip Mossick, and on behalf of our studio producer, Bodie Wells, and for Paul Keels and Ron Stokes, I'm Timmy Hall, inviting you to join us Saturday at 3:45 in the afternoon as the Buckeyes, well, not in the morning, for goodness sakes, as the Buckeyes go to Indiana. We'll be on the air with the Toyota Buckeye pregame show beginning at 3. Tonight's game and this morning's game has been brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast. Again, the final score, 116-114. In double overtime, the Buckeyes take down Nebraska in a much-needed win. Thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
And brought to you locally by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on your home of the Buckeyes. Live and local weekday mornings beginning at 6 with Morning Juice on The Fan.